So guys, can you please tell me if you can hear this? I'm just doing a last ditch effort of using a different source. Anything now? Oh, you hear me. Great, so that's only half of the problem because we still don't hear Nicola.
Yeah, so let's try. Let's try to hear me.
Try to say something again.
Yeah?
Do you hear Nicola?
Okay, yeah, I think they can hear me because I also following YouTube with some latency.
All right.
Very soft.
Very
That's how I
soft.
speak.
No. So the thing is that what's usually a problem this time will maybe be our rescue because your sound is going from my speaker into my microphone. So we will probably have to continue this way to not waste anyone's time. So just last check, people, you hear Nicola again? Nicola, can you say something?
Yes, hi everyone, welcome, great to have you on board here with us. Yes, I will shout, it's not a problem for me, that's how I normally speak.
I also turned up your sound completely. So you hear him, great. I see signs that you hear him. Sorry about that, people, so let's rush into it. So we have a special guest today and I'm happy to introduce you to Nicola, who is making music from data. He is the data Mozart. He is a Power BI and SQL Server addict, Microsoft MVP, Pluralsight author, blogger, speaker, and probably much more. So welcome to the quiz, Nicola.
Thanks, Matthias. Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. It's both pleasure and honor to join you as a co-host, and I'm sure that all of us, including our audience, will have a lot of fun tonight. Yeah. So, or today. I'm not sure from which parts of the planet people are joining. So yeah, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun indeed. So good morning, good day, and good evening to everyone from the entire world. For anyone here who is new to the quiz, I'll just go through the basics of how you can even participate here. So what you need to do is you need to go to the site kahoot.it, or even better, if you have a phone that you want to do this on, Kahoot has a mobile app that actually works even better. But totally up to you. You can do one or the other. Should work, no problem. Once you've had that app installed or you visited this browser site, you will have to enter a game pin. This game pin I will show you on the YouTube screen here in just a few minutes. So don't fret about not having that already. Once you get the game pin, you need to add an email and a nickname to participate in the quiz. No one else but me can see your email, and I only collect this email to be able to send you the prize if you win. Once we get to the quiz, the rules are you'll get questions. There are different types of questions, some where there's one correct answer, some where there is multiple correct answers. But as a rule of thumb, the faster you answer, the more points you will get. With the one little thing that if you have multi-answer questions, you need to click on all the answers you deem correct and then click submit to actually submit your questions. And only when you click submit, you get your points from. Besides that, for multi-answer questions, if you get one of them right, you get points. If you get two of them right, you get more points, and so on. But if you just get one of them wrong, you get 0 points for that question. So a bit of caution, but also there is a lot of points at stake. So do with that as you may. And I said prizes before because we do have prizes. So the winner today will be able to take home a $100 Lego gift certificate that can buy you, well, any of these things that you will see over here. Not all of them, but any one of them. So you could buy like your wife some flowers. You could buy a picture for your home. You could buy Harry Potter castle, Batmobile, something from the Avatar. Maybe something completely different. You could save it up for something bigger, or you could buy a bunch of smaller things. Up to you. So that was the introduction. Let's get started with the quiz. This is the game pin on the top of the screen. If you have your Kahoot already installed, you should be able to enter the game now by typing in this pin, and we will see you in a bit. So it's good to have you here, Nicola, even with the sound problems.
Yes, I mean that's not a problem for us, of course.
That's not a problem for us. We've been able to hear each other all the time.
Good that we are here. Our friends in the audience are here, and we have questions. So yeah, we have everything for our quiz. Yeah.
We have everything we need, yeah. We do. So I asked you before we started, Nicola, like name me 3 things about you that people may not know, and you name, and one of them people definitely know. One of them was like you're a Barcelona fan. I think everybody that is a very
Yeah, you see my shirt.
exactly, exactly, and you even got a new profile picture I saw. Also,
Yes,
also
that's
at the
interesting
stadium.
story. Yeah, yeah. Also at the stadium, I was in Barcelona like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I met with Ricardo in person. I met also with Bernat, and Bernat was joking with me like, "Yeah, you don't look like yourself in that profile picture. Now you need to put a new one from, but again from No Camp, from stadium." And I went to the game and make a picture, and yeah, there you go, the new picture from No Camp. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So we have people joining, and I just want to make sure that we don't have somebody still wanting to join and not been able to. So I'll just give people a few more minutes to enter the quiz. Do you want to say something about the topic that we're quizzing on today, Nicola?
Yeah, so basically the topic is related to this DP500 exam, one of the latest and newest exams that Microsoft published last year, somewhere in the middle of last year, which requires from you to know things like advanced topics in Power BI, Azure Synapse Analytics, a little bit of Microsoft Purview and how it integrates with Synapse and Power BI. And I see there are a lot of interest within the community on these topics and on passing this exam. So I prepared a set of questions that basically cover main areas for this certificate.
Nice. Yeah, and it's a very interesting area. I mean, the field of not just Power BI but more is just, I mean, such an important thing for also a lot of Power BI people to know about.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Cool. And you also brought us something, some little things up your sleeve. I don't know if you want to announce those now, or we want to keep the surprise for later.
Sure. So I can announce one part now. So for all of you who are with us live, there is a special coupon code for all attendees and participants in Data Platform Quiz. Maybe you don't know, I recently published on-demand online course on mastering DP500, which basically covers all the topics you need for passing this exam. It includes, I think, around 6 hours of videos and demos and 100 practice questions. So like a full package for helping you to pass this exam. So I can maybe, when the quiz starts, I can maybe share the link to the course and coupon code for all of you who are interested to take 15% of the regular price.
That's perfect and pretty good. I mean, you can drop it in the chat. It will be part of the quiz too, so people will be reminded. It will not be a points awarding, but we always have like a demo question in the beginning. You will also be able to read it there, but put it in the YouTube chat. That would make a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Also, it also works for anyone watching this session afterwards, but it does have an expire date. When can people redeem this code, and when will it have expired? Because I know people are watching this even a week from now.
Exactly. So it will be available until Saturday midnight.
Until Saturday midnight, yeah.
So tonight, today, tomorrow whole day, and Saturday whole day. So basically until we are talking about Central European time. So up until 25th of March midnight.
Great. That sounds good. Let's get started with the quiz. We have 16 participants, and I think they are eager and excited to get started. So let's just get on with it. It is, of course, a Kahoot for the data platform quiz. Mastering DP500 for the, So first question 1. What is the discount promo code for Nicola's course? Is it Power BI Quiz 10? Is it Vertipack Rules 05? Is it How to Train Your Dragon 15? Or is it Data Platform Quiz 15? People are hesitant to answer. It's a very hard question, I know. This doesn't award any points, just to be completely clear about that. But any questions after this will be point awarding questions where you get more points the quicker you answer. And 4 people assumed it was Power BI quiz. Well, those 4 people can get a bigger discount because this is a 15% discount, not a 10. So this is, yeah. Cool. We got that out of the way. People know how to click and how this works. So let's get started with the real quiz. And we will introduce the first question here. No points awarded, yes? Yet. So, how much will you pay if you execute the following query 5 times in serverless SQL pool? And the query is, select star from sysobjects. Do you pay the amount of data processed for all 5 queries? Do you pay the amount of data processed for only the first run? Or do you pay the amount of data scanned for the first run? Or do you pay nothing?
I'm curious to see what people will answer here.
I will admit that I got this one wrong. This was one of the questions where I actually learned something.
Let's see what people think about that.
Mm-hmm. Or if anyone will argue with it or dispute you. I mean, we oh, that was, not everyone got this. Only like a 4th. Do you wanna do you wanna explain the details behind this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I do quizzes on my training center, when I see this, like answers skewed between different options, I need to elaborate on this. So whenever you query metadata objects in serverless SQL pool, you don't pay anything. So Microsoft will not charge you for querying metadata, only real data. So that's why the correct answer is nothing.
Very cool. So do we have other kinds of metadata that we can query as well without any cost?
Basically everything that belongs to sys schema. So basically all the objects that belong to sys schema, you can query without paying anything.
That's pretty cool. That's good to know. Great. So let's see the score after this one. We have Nexus taking the lead, followed up by Tropical Bunny, Power BI, PBI, MR, Power BI, and Nelson Lopez. I'm always curious about who's behind these nicknames. I should probably have a list somewhere at this side.
It's Arthur. I see now in the chat that it's Arthur is a Tropical Bunny.
Arthur is Tropical Bunny. Hi, Arthur. Next question. So, which table distribution option in dedicated SQL pool will provide the fastest data loading? Is it hash, replicated, round robin, or partitioned?
This one should be easier, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you work with the tool, or if you work with enough data that it becomes relevant.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is round robin indeed, yeah. Most people got it right. Not a clear one-sided answer still this time. And for the score, we have the Power BI. I've seen this name before. Who is Power BI?
That's Marcus. That's Marcus. I know him from other quizzes.
Yes, of course. Marcus is taking the lead. The only person who got both questions right so far.
Yeah, Donald, don't give up. Power BI questions are still to come.
Yes, it's not all about SQL.
Yeah. Hey Rishi, good to see you.
Ah, nice. Good to see you. Rishi, you should still be able to join if you're not already in here. So next question. Which analytical tool in Azure Synapse is the most efficient for analyzing streaming and telemetry data? Is it serverless, Azure Data Explorer, Apache Spark, or dedicated SQL? Is it? I don't think I've ever had to pronounce it before. Is it Apache or Apache? Or it's Apache, isn't it?
I hear people calling it Apache, so
Apache.
I'm calling it Apache.
Apache. Yeah. Like the helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Donald, of course you know.
Donald knows this question.
Don't give up so quickly.
Oh yeah.
Best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
Maybe 60 seconds was too long for this one.
Yeah, I mean, usually people answer quicker, but wow, this one was a hard one. Maybe I trick people by talking about Apache Spark. Sorry if you chose this because I mentioned it. That was not the intention, but I think we got a bit of change of score here. Nexus took the lead again. No one who got all 3 questions right yet. So that is, I don't think that has happened with me hosting the quiz yet, the first 3 questions, with no one having all of them correct.
Yeah, I apologize if the questions are too hard. Then you need to buy the course and watch it.
Yeah. All right. So we have Nexus in the lead and Tropical Bunny second. So let's go on to the next question and see what you have for us, Nicola. Maybe an easier one. Which function is mandatory in every T-SQL query in the serverless SQL pool for querying files? Is it file name? Is it open row set? Is it file path? Or is it width? So it's a mandatory one.
Yeah, in literally every T-SQL query. Yeah, Rishi, we had some sound issues, so the only way that it could work is like this.
Yes.
Matthias will talk more. I will just be here to make some
dance.
jokes. Yeah,
do you know any TikTok dances?
Oh no.
Me neither.
It's definitely not my thing yet.
Could you like, don't do this, do this. Nice. Maybe we have a participant that just wants to wait till the last second before the answer. Most people got this one right. It is open row set. And it's, of course, you need it for everything where you need to load data from the files in your data lake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the other are optional.
All the other are optional. I think for people who may not know about file path, I think it's a pretty important clause. I don't know if you want to add a bit of why it is an important clause.
Sure, file path is super important for partitioning your queries in terms that it helps you to achieve a partition elimination. So if you provide within the file path, if you provide as an argument a certain folder or certain file, even better if you know which file contains the data you need, then it will be able to just scan this specific partition and avoid scanning all the others. So that's very important function.
Yeah. And when we talk about scanning, we actually talk about not having to load that data into our queries. So it's basically, yeah, it's
basically faster and cheaper because in the end you pay for amount of data processed,
yes,
which contains amount of data scanned. So the less data you scan, the less data is processed and the less you pay in the end to Microsoft.
So this is the alternative we have when working with data lake as opposed to indexes and filters and where statements. I mean, you need to make those where statements actually hit the partitions you have in your data lake.
Exactly.
Yeah, very important. And also a pitfall, someone may forget this and they don't figure out every time they need just one piece of data, they have to load their whole data lake or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see how this changes the score. A few people got it right, didn't change a lot, but we have Olivier and PBI Amar who is entering the top 5. Good job, guys. Also, we have Amadeo M, which we don't see here on the leaderboard yet, but he's just climbed 4 places, so maybe we will see him.
He's a Power BI guy, so I expect him to climb once Power BI questions pop in.
Yes. So should we move on to the next one and see if this will be a Power BI question?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a multi-select, so more than one correct answer. When you run the df.describe.show in Apache Spark pools, which of the functions will be executed for the data frame? Is it AVG, mean, standard deviation, or count? And how many of them will run? or will be executed?
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Yeah, you don't need to get all right.
So this is where you could play cautiously. You could pick the one that you know for sure, get a few points, or you could risk it and guess for more and risk getting nothing. Maybe you were even very mean and picked only one right answer, but allowed it to be multi-select. Who knows? So we've used not enough time. Do you want to, while we wait for the result, to explain what does the DF, I assume stands for data frame, what does DF describe show do?
Basically, it runs over your data frame and shows you a quick overview of the data. So like takes into account if now I can say because we have the answers announced. Yes. So basically, it scans the whole data frame and gives you, like at one glance, all the key values that are part of this data frame, like mean, max, mean, count, standard deviation, some statistical functions. So it provides you like a high-level overview of what you have in there. So you can think of it.
We have same.
Because most of people like coming from Power BI world, like in Power Query, when you turn on this column distribution, column profile, column quality, that's kind of similar thing here.
Yep.
For data frames in Apache Spark.
Cool. And it gives you those three numbers: the mean, the standard deviation, and the count.
Among others. So there are also some additional things that you also get, but from those four mentioned here, those three are correct.
So I'm very interested if someone got all of them right. I don't think we'll be able to see that, except if one of the top ones get like 1,000 points or close. Let's see. It seems like it. Sorry guys. It seems like Tropical Bunny, aka Arthur, took the lead with what seemed like all three of them right. And Nelson Lopez is on a streak. So do you think it's, I don't remember the order of the question. Do you think we will have a Power BI question now, Nicola?
I don't think yet.
Not yet.
One more. Be patient folks. One more. If you are in heaven then.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting quiz because the scoring may change so much once we shift topic. So
absolutely
curious about that. So, which of the following T-SQL commands is not supported in serverless SQL? Is it update, is it select, create, or alter?
This is just relevant for serverless.
Only for serverless, yeah.
Yeah. Click too fast. Yes, I know. I always do that whenever I play those quizzes.
Someone clicked too fast?
Yeah, Donald wrote that he clicked too fast.
Yeah, it's always a risk. I mean, you want to click fast, and honestly, in some quizzes, if you don't do that, you will not win because we have other very knowledgeable participants who are very quick. So the answer was update.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there are no persistent objects in serverless SQL, basically you can't update anything. While you can use, of course, select, that's obvious, and create and alter those data definition language statements from SQL. You can use to create views, for example.
Yeah.
Or
alter views.
Yes.
Or my favorite, create and alter. But yeah, I mean, you cannot update the data, so update doesn't work in SQL. You can do other things like CTES, but different story, different topic. Let's see, 4 people answered this one correctly. Let's see if it's one of the persons that will change the leads. It did indeed, a lot actually. We have Tropical Bunny still, number 1, Amadeo taking the 2nd place. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought Amadeo M would have been you, Nicola. Amadeo Mozart.
No, not at all. That's Amadeo. I think maybe I pronounce his last name not correct. So please, sorry, Amadeo. Amadeo Magini. I don't know how you say in Italian, how you pronounce it, but I know him very knowledgeable in Power BI, and I know him from Power BI quizzes.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So the score has already changed quite a bit. It's one of the more unpredictable quizzes I've seen so far. So I look very much forward to seeing what will happen next when we maybe get a Power BI question. So
maybe.
Let's see. We'll move on. Question number 8. Which DAX functions should you use to establish a virtual relationship between the tables in Power BI model?
Yes, Power BI.
Use relationship, path, treat as, or cross filter.
I see we have like 12 answers in 5 seconds.
Yes. So we hit the Power BI crowd. Now they will be in the game.
That's why I told you don't give up so quickly.
And let's just move on and see how this didn't change much. We had a tropical bunny dropping all the way down, and
okay.
Yeah, and all the others in the lead got it right. So that was the first Power BI question.
Yeah, and the last one.
Sorry guys.
Don't leave.
Yeah. All right. I hope you guys are ready for the next question because there are some to go. And let's take question number 9. Which Power BI feature should be used to restrict access to the company cost measure to a certain group of users? Is it row level security, object level security, sensitivity labels, or data masking? I found this one tricky, and I'm curious to see if others did too. They didn't. Most of the people got it right. So for those that may have found it tricky, can you explain? Because it's not like you can really remove the measure with any of these from the security model or from the model. So
exactly?
How do you do it?
Yeah. So basically, imagine that you want to create a measure that calculates the total company costs. So you will use a column called company costs or something similar and create a measure which is sum of value of this column. And whenever you want to restrict access to a column, you need to use object level security. So row level security restricts access on an attribute level. But whenever you want a whole table or the column within your data model to be restricted from the certain group of users, then you use object level security. Because when you set object level security on this column, all the measures that are using that column will also be omitted from the data model. So they will not be a part of data model at all.
Exactly. Good to know. And it changed quite a bit. We have Tropical Bunny trying to regain a lead again, and we have Amadeo M in the lead with the 300 points lead to the next one. This is definitely not decided yet. 300 points is like, what, 10 seconds of answering time? So this is a very tight race.
Yeah.
Let's take question number 10. To which roles should a user be assigned to be able to compare 2 stages, test and prod, in a deployment pipeline? Pipeline author, pipeline member, pipeline contributor, or pipeline admin?
Very curious to see.
Yes.
What people will answer here.
Which of these roles will make you able to do this? So while we wait for the last question, Nicola, for anyone who may not be a Power BI enterprise developer or a Power BI developer at all, can you explain in like layman's terms what is even deployment pipelines?
Yeah, that's a feature, premium only feature, at least at this moment, that helps you do like CI/CD in Power BI, so you can move your Power BI artifacts from one stage to another.
Yeah, 4 people got this right, and this was a tricky question. Please tell us why this was a tricky question. What is the deal with this?
So when you set permissions for deployment pipelines, you set them separately from workspace permissions. And there's only one single role for deployment pipelines, and that's pipeline admin. So pipeline author, member, and contributor that don't exist.
They don't exist.
So depending which role over workspace you have in combination with pipeline admin, which is the only one, it depends. It defines what kind of operations and activities you can perform.
Yeah. Yeah, tricky one. I mean, because we're assuming that they exist because you asked the question.
It's just pipeline admin. No other roles exist for deployment pipelines.
Exactly. So this tricked a few people, and we have, I don't know how to pronounce this, Prano taking the lead with the knowledge about deployment pipeline.
Rishi, it's Rishi. Yeah, I thought it's Rishi.
It's Rishi. Didn't he?
Yeah, it's Rishi.
Didn't he join the quiz midways?
Yeah, that's champion spirit.
Oh wow! Way to go!
Going to the party and then winning.
Way to go! So
there are a lot more questions. Yeah.
Let's see if you can carry it on to the end of it all, or if he's going to be challenged by the next question, number 11. It's a multi-select, so more than one right answer. Which tools can be used to identify bottlenecks in the data refresh process in Power BI? Is it the Vertipack Analyzer, SQL Server Profiler, Power Query Query Diagnostics, or Performance Analyzer?
Hint, so data refresh process.
In the data refresh process, yeah. It's not any bottlenecks in Power BI, it's for data refresh.
The ball is always quicker than the rise. Said who?
I don't know if you noticed, Nicola, I went and got images for all of your questions, and for this one I thought I'd just search for bottleneck, and this is what came up.
Yeah, that is part.
Exactly. All right. So a lot of people identified these, but also a lot of people thought that they could use Performance Analyzer and Vertipack Analyzer for this. Why can we not use those for refresh?
Yeah. So Performance Analyzer gives you how to say, so gives you an idea and measurements what is happening when you interact with the report itself. So the queries that are being run, text queries, direct queries, visual rendering and stuff like that. So once you are already in the report itself, Vertipack Analyzer gives you data model structure in terms of how much space different objects like columns, tables, hierarchies, relationships occupy in your data model, while those remaining two, SQL Server Profiler and Power Query Query Diagnostics, those two can be used to identify and to basically track your data refresh process in Power BI.
There you have it. So I wonder if Rishi is staying in the lead. Yes. He got them right, and we have Nexus climbing up the leaderboard. Ricardo. So, question number 12. You prepared a lot of questions for us today. So, which language do we use to apply the custom logic in a Power BI data flow that retrieves the data from a SQL Server table? Is it DAX? Is it Python? Is it MDX? Or is it M?
This should be an easy one, I would say.
I think so too. I also chickened out and made it even easier than the one that you sent me.
Okay.
There used to be you used to have the option of sequel as well, and I didn't. It suddenly yeah. So everyone except one got this one right. It probably won't change much. It did actually, because someone were quicker than others.
Yeah, because of the speed.
Yeah, we now have person in lead with only 1 point.
1 point.
I've never seen this before. I mean, literally, if you take like the millisecond now, this will be the differentiator between the lead.
Yeah, and we are slowly approaching the end. So
we are slowly approaching the end. This is getting more and more exciting. But not all hope is lost for those not on the leaderboard. I mean, there come maybe tricky questions. There may be someone that trips up. So let's see what happens in question number 13, which is a multi-select again. Which two properties can be customized by report users when using personalized visuals feature in Power BI? Change visual type, change aggregation type, change measure calculations, or change colors in the visual. And we're talking about the personalized visuals feature in Power BI.
Yeah.
This feature is only accessible in the service, right?
No, you can also configure it in desktop.
I actually did not know.
Yeah. There is an option to configure it in Power BI desktop as well. I don't have any open PBIX file right now. I'm afraid we will run out of time, but in the Power BI desktop, in the formatting pane, it's under, let me quickly try to find it until we are waiting. I don't know from top of my head. When I open it, I know.
All right. Oh, so someone is pointing out something here, Nicola. You actually wrote 2 in the question.
Sorry?
In the question, you're saying which 2 properties. So people knew only to answer 2 answers.
You're welcome.
So let's see. So it's a change visual type and change aggregation types. And we can see here, who did we help out? Who did you help out? You helped out Nexus and Logical Chris. I love your guys' nicknames, by the way. I am going to next time, I'm going to have a list.
I want $20 for Lego for this help.
Yes. Send some Legos to Nicola. Right, so question number 14. Which of the following transformations will always break query folding? And we're talking about always. So merge, pivot, index, or change data type. Some of these may break it occasionally, but we're talking about something that always breaks the query folding. Yeah. And this topic was discussed in Chris Webb's session at SQL Bits last week.
Yes. Yeah.
Where he also made it abundantly clear that just because you don't get the native query, that does not have to mean it does not query fold.
Yeah, that's true. For certain data sources and for certain transformations, the view native query option can be disabled, and you may think that query doesn't fold, but in the end, it's folding. So I know for Snowflake as a data source, I know that it's usually grayed out, even though the queries are folding, but also for some, let's say, SQL server related data source, it can also trick you depending on which transformations are you applying.
Yeah, and the only surefire way to know is to actually then go check the SQL Server profiler in your backend. Which queries does that receive?
Yeah. Exactly.
And the answer was
query diagnostics.
Yeah, and the answer was index, which I mean, I don't understand this, because adding an index in a SQL query is not something that for me seems like a bit of much of a challenge. But
yes, I'm reading answers also in the chat. It's interesting. So maybe I can just jump into. You can also PO. Yes, there's a PO function in T-SQL. So if you do the right thing in Power Query, it can fold. There is a pivot function in T-SQL language as well. Changing data types, it depends. Sometimes it will break the query folding, sometimes not, depending which M transformation you are generating by changing data types. So some of them can be translated to T-SQL, some of them not. But index will always break the query folding. Don't know why, as Matthias said.
No.
But yeah, that's how it is.
Pivot is what I answered as well on for this one, because I have tried many times to pivot a table in Power Query and realized that it breaks query folding. So I just assumed it would always do so, but apparently not.
I need to write a blog post to show that pivot transformation can be folded.
So I've always pushed my pivot back to the SQL layer and done it there. Yeah. This is good to know. It's good to know. All right. Let's see who got index right. This is probably where things will mix up. Actually, not much. The 1 point lead just became a 990 point lead. No, less than that. More than that. Quick math. So Power, that's Marcus. Marcus, he has risen to the second place. So he may even go for the big win. Let's see what happens with question number 15, the second to last. Which process type to use when loading data into tables without rebuilding hierarchies or recalculating columns? Is it process default, process data, process recalc, or process add?
It's not an easy one, I know.
It is not an easy one. So we have 30 seconds before question is over. What's the use case for doing what you're describing here, loading data, but not rebuilding or recalculating calc columns?
Yeah,
and the process data is the right answer, that's how you do it.
Exactly, yeah, so if you deal with very large amounts of data, like you have huge partitions or huge tables, and you don't necessarily need to rebuild hierarchies each and every time, or recalculate calculated columns, then this is the valid use case for using this specific process type for those scenarios.
So it will be faster.
Yeah, it should be faster.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you will not spend time on rebuilding hierarchies and recalculating those columns.
Yeah. Cool. And
yeah, I like that a lot of people got it right.
Yes. It's also, I think, maybe the intuitive choice. You want to refresh the data, and they named it process data, which is like good naming for once.
Yeah.
It's not direct query for Power BI datasets and Azure analysis models. Yeah. No, but it's intuitive. So I like that also about the naming. So we have Nexus on top. We have Power BI on second, Amadeo third, Rishi, Repano fourth, and Nelson Lopez fifth. And we only have one question left. So at this point, yeah, actually we know who the first one is going to be, but I think it was also be very interesting to see who grabs the second place. So don't give up, people. Don't give up. Fight the hardest you can for this last 16th and last question.
And the last is double, right?
I don't remember. Let's find out.
It's double, so it's not over yet, I think.
It's not double, but it is.
Okay.
Which of the following Power BI assets will not be moved to the next stage by using deployment pipelines? Is it data marts, paginated reports, metrics, or data flows? Final answer, the determinator, who will be number 2 and number 3. Unfortunately, we already know who is number 1.
I like your photos that you put into the quiz. Yeah, really.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I figured, how do I find something about something not moving in a pipe? That was it.
Yeah,
The answer would be Exactly. The answer is metrics. They are not moved.
Yeah, that's correct.
But they still exist in the workspace, don't they?
Yeah. They exist, but they're not moved. So.
Cool. So let's see. We will not see the score now. We will just see who the winners are. And you will not see me, apparently. So, drum roll, who will be the winner? We have on the third place, we have Rishi, or Prana. We have second place, Amadeo. And on the first place, we have Nexus. Who was Nexus again? Ricardo, congratulations.
My friend, well done.
Yeah, and don't leave yet, people, because I did say fight for that second place like it was your life. So, Nicola, you have a special prize for number 2. What did you bring us today?
Yeah, best of the rest gets access to my DP500 course for free. So Amadeo, drop me a message on LinkedIn or Twitter, whatever is easier for you. I'll send you the special code, and you get the course for free.
Congratulations both to Ricardo and Amadeo. And thank you everybody for joining. I hope you will be coming back again next month when we have the next special guest. Next month there will both be again a Power BI quiz and a data platform quiz. This month, due to busyness and SQL bits, we kind of combined both into one. But next month we will have one of each again. So I hope to see you at both of them for those of people who want to be there for both. But otherwise, stay tuned for the release date for Power BI quiz and the data platform quiz in April. Congrats to the winners, and just enjoy your evening, everyone. I've had a blast this time. It was nice to have you here, Nicholas. So thank you so much for spending your evening.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks. You were a wonderful host, Matthias.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining. It was really fun.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Have a good, lovely evening, and goodbye, everyone.